Welcome to Ear to the Common Ground. Here we celebrate the power of music and food to bring Americans together. Filmed from a historic barn on Cash Lane in Music City, each episode of Ear to the Common Ground features one musical artist and a diverse gathering of 8 of their fans. Everyone brings a dish to the table, and they talk about one of the issues of the day. Face to face, with compassion replacing contempt, as they keep their hearts, ears, and minds attuned to the common ground. I'm She Returns from War, and these are 8 of my fans. Morgan, Steven, Robert, Kristen, Mariah, Tiffany, Susanna, and Cameron. Tonight, we're focusing on issues surrounding the LGBTQ+ community. Let's celebrate America's greatest diversity of thought, and shine a light on some common ground.
As I'm talking in my sleep, do you again?
My name is Pastor Robert P. Harris Jr. I am, of course, a pastor. I am a writer, researcher. I am a lover of humanity. God has poured that into my heart. Now, I will say this. I used to despise, hate white people. I'll tell you the reason why. Even gay people. And I'll tell you the reason why. It's because I was taught to do that. In my day, during Black Power, it was you hate white people because they're white. Until one day, I'm an ex-heroin addict, cocaine addict, crack addict. Been clean about 40 years. And one day I was dying. I was literally dying. I had a syringe. I had cocaine in a spoon. And my heart was going, I don't know how many miles a minute. And I was sweating without moving. And I was about to die. And I says to my Creator, if you don't do nothing, I will die. I'd do anything you ask me to do. And in that room was an experience that I've never had before. And when I came out of that experience, I went outdoors and everything I saw was brand new. Mm-hmm. Everything I saw was brand spanking new. And I've been loving all of humanity.
There are people who are investigating their sexuality, and sometimes those people have they have a liking for a person. Mm-hmm. And so they may be gay for that person, but they don't really like the same gender.
You can be straight for that person, too.
Mm-hmm. It's called demisexual.
Or pansexual.
Or pansexual, right? And here, let me educate you a little bit, right?
We need a Someone's head has exploded.
And maybe I could.
It's all right.
Speak to this for a moment.
Speak.
I see the wheels turning.
And,
which is when you said, help me with this. I think what some of us are describing here is what being a person who is like myself and what being part of a community for LGBTQ liberation. I think it's about liberating all people, right? And it's about helping us all understand that the ways of being sexual, the ways of being gendered, so the way you see yourself as a man and a woman,
which are mutually
or
exclusive.
all in between. You know, myself, I think of myself as being sort of both. And it's kind of unclear how much of either man or woman I am. But there's also people who are born intersexed. So for all of the ways of being human, there's so many different ways to think about it and define it.
My oldest child is bisexual, never came out, never said a word, just brought different people home. Has no interest in being political, doesn't talk about it, doesn't want to go to Pride, none of that. I want a world that it's free for people to disengage too, right? Because it's, as you all know, it's hard to constantly be fighting for your basic dignities all the time. It's exhausting. And for me, it's just about like getting curious about how textured, how marvelous, how incomprehensible gender is.
There's new discussion on legislation in the Tennessee House to redefine marriage as one man and one woman. And it has committee, it's already been in the press about it. But the United States Supreme Court, the United States government recognizes same-sex marriage, all-sex marriage is legal and it's binding and it's the law of the land, yet we have state after state trying to redefine the redefinition.
This is something that's actually close to me because I am married.
Yeah.
And one thing that my wife and I both wanted, we wanted to be married by a minister. So when we eloped, we found a minister to marry us in Las Vegas. When the bill passed for same-sex marriage, that was a huge thing for me because I want to be able, at the end of the day, to take care of my wife in the event something happens to me. If that law wasn't passed, Pastor, I wouldn't be able to do that.
This is fun. And the cupcakes match my dress. So I thought that after all this healing conversation we've been having, that we all deserve a little treat, huh?
Absolutely.
So you're your most beautiful self when you are listening, I think. And when you're tapping into hearing other people's opinions and when you're tapping into understanding why people are, and maybe that might be different. It's like, how can we facilitate that in the most amazing way possible? And I think it starts by maybe buying y'all cupcakes, because God knows I can't bake.
Tell me what you think you made now. You're spilling terror from your teeth like you figured my intentions out. Black lightning bolts in the back of your head. I watch your ego taste my flesh to put the pieces back together, but you don't know how. Spitting fire to the place you're bending backwards now. I've sung my songs from north to south. You're still afraid to hear that someone loves you, whispering spells in the next room over the perfect patterns we were standing in. I'm not a cool kid, but I'm a swamp witch. To dream of a ceiling caving in. It's like a mirror of the moon when you ask to keep my secret. Why don't you tell me about the day that you died? Black lightning threading through the sky. I swear if you shut your eyes, I know that you could see it. I'll be 3 feet off the ground while you're on fire now. I've sung my songs all over town, dancing with my demons in the space between us. A remedy if I choose to be now. Look who's getting loud. Tell me what you think you mean now. what you think you mean now. Oh, tell me what you think you mean now. Tell me what you think you mean now. I'm not a cool kid, but I'm a swamp witch. I'm not a cool kid, but I'm a swamp witch. Thank you, guys. Hot wire, drag through fight. Tell me when I'm gonna make my money back. I got a street walker with a real long stare. Tell him you ain't ever going nowhere, honey. You ain't ever going no, ain't ever going